All right, welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast. I'm your host, Tim Lyons, at the table, at the big wood epoxy-coated table in studio, joined by Randy Angston. What's up, dude?
You never know what I'm going to get with these introductions.
I bring it in from the left field sometimes. Hey, quick announcement, everybody. Our coaching program, also known as the Business Accelerator, is open and taking on new gyms. winninggym.com/grow. At the end of the day, what do you get in the coaching program?
Coaching program is great. So we're going to cover 4 different systems of the business. We're going to cover delivery systems. Mm-hmm. We're going to cover your ascension model. Mm-hmm. We're going to cover your conversion systems. And then we're going to cover your attraction systems.
Boom.
All in the whole time, we're going to focus on your mindset and your performance as the owner.
And it's compact. It's an 8-week program. People are popping out of that with great results. We're even starting marketing towards the end, and people are generating more revenue. And overall, what you're going to get out of this program is the opportunity to decide whether or not you want to work in your business, on your business, or remove yourself from the business.
Yeah, I mean, that's the foundation of kind of part of the reason I guess we stepped into coaching, right? We have the fundamental belief that as a business owner, you should have the ability to remove yourself from your business, a true business owner, not a self-employed business owner. And to give yourself that option is really big with us. And it's kind of one of our core beliefs in a way. And so we've helped gym owners do that by working themselves out of the business. And if you want to be back in there and work a little bit here and there, that's your choice, but it's not a must.
Right. And that's really what this topic is about today. Yep. So let me tell you a quick story. When I first opened the original OG Pulse Fitness in 2009, I was not a personal trainer. Like a lot of you that are listening, you were a personal trainer working at a big box or another place, and you came in, you brought clients with you, and you knew the training side of the business, but you didn't really know the business side. I was the opposite. I didn't know anything about the training side, and I knew that I wanted to be a business owner. From the day that I opened it, it was always to be a business owner because, again, going back to Kiyosaki's book, Cash Flow Quadrant, if you guys read it, it's all about the 4 quadrants in your relationship with how you earn money. And really it was, hey, I got to get into this business owner role. So every move that I made was in, quickly trying to get me into that business owner role.
The whole reason for freedom, right? Mm-hmm. Well, the idea from the low end of that spectrum, if you don't know, is the employee realm, right? Where you basically you're tied to that time for money. Right. The other end is your money's making money. So it's an idea of freedom as you ascend.
Correct. Yeah. So if you haven't checked that book, it's an easy read. It was really what changed my perspective on everything. Really, I mean, you don't know what you don't know when you go into this business. So I was 29 years old. I had another job. I was making great money in the construction industry, but, I was like, hey, this will be my side hustle. Let me open a brick and mortar gym that I had no idea how to run as a side hustle. Like, there's so many other things I could have done.
It's probably not the side hustle. Let's just open up a gym without any understanding of how to do it is probably how most of us got, the listeners got here in the first place.
I would agree. And I agree. But the big thing was, hey, I was going to hire coaches and all this stuff. And every move that I made was to get off the floor. I did go on to get a certification. I did do everything in the gym. I did training. I did sales. I did marketing. I did janitorial, whatever, just like many of you. But here's the difference between many of you and what I did. I got my ass out of there as quickly as possible. And I'm speaking to gym owners on a weekly basis, daily basis. And what I'm hearing is, a 10-year, 12-year, 14, 20, 30-year gym owner is still training clients on the floor. So I say this, and this is what I tell them. I said, hey, I can't be naive enough to think that everybody wants to do what I did. If you enjoy training and that's why you're training, then I can understand that's why you're training. I don't believe it's the best use of your time.
Correct.
But if there is this energy where you get in energy by going and training clients, 2, 3, 5, 7 hours in a day, then I can see that.
Correct.
But what I hear is, I hate training. I don't want to train anymore. I want to get off of the floor. I would rather do sales and marketing. I would rather run the operation. I would rather develop the team, but I'm stuck training.
Or the business isn't making any money. We're not going anywhere. It's stagnant. We've been here for 10 years. Nothing's progressing, but they're just going back to the same things that they're doing day to day, pounding their heads against the wall and expecting a different outcome.
Right. So here's the question. You need to ask yourself, are you training on the training floor because you have to or because you want to? And there's a fine line.
Absolutely.
Because like you have to, because you need to save on payroll, but are you not paying yourself for those hours? And again, your big caveat to the whole thing is like gym owners don't value their own time.
Correct.
If they could do it, they're just going to get it done, save on payroll. But listen, time is money, right?
So if you're I think we think it's more valuable than money. We can make more money. We can't get more time.
There you
period.
go. Yeah. Yeah, I value time more than money.
Hell yes.
Yep. So anything we can do to buy speed, get yourself out of the day-to-day operations so you can work on other things and, spend time the way you want to, not because you have to. So, one of the latest coaching calls that we had was like, hey, I noticed, you just said you just train 30 hours a week and your husband's training, 30 hours a week on the training floor, and there's no change going on here. Like this gym's kind of been at the same place. Like, what are we doing? And they both decided they don't want to train on the training floor years ago, but we're still here today. And so I said, here's the great news. You both are the bosses and you can make the decision. And they were like, they almost felt like they needed permission.
I was just going to say, how many entrepreneurs feel like they need permission to make a change or do something different?
I felt like that's what it was.
Seems like it's becoming like common. Like we've heard that term a lot lately. Like I just needed permission to go do it.
I needed to be told I could do it.
Or see somebody. It's the 4-minute mile type mentality, right?
Correct.
Like nobody else is out there doing it. I'm kind of afraid to be the first. Or if others are and they just don't know how, right? They just don't know what to do to make that step. So, and I think that's a lot of why gym owners find themselves back on the training floor. Is most that we work with, at least, they've ascended from a training position. That is comfort to them.
Yeah,
that is what they
back.
know. And it's exactly, you fall back into what you know. And it's natural. It's a human element, right? We cater to comfort, but that right there is exactly what's going to hold them back.
Yep.
That's the biggest, caveat pivot that they have to make is to get uncomfortable and do the things that we know are going to move the needle of the business, not just service the business and the clients today.
The day-to-day status quo.
Yep.
Status quo. Hey, listen up, gym owners. I want you to kind of stop what you're doing. Go ahead and re-rack that weight real quick. Turn your headphones up a little bit. You have my permission to take yourself off the training floor so you can grow your operation.
Let's talk about maybe some of the reasons why. I think there's a lot of resistance, and you've heard us joke about this, and it's one of my favorite terms everybody says is my clients won't. My clients won't train with somebody else. My clients won't train with my trainers. They've worked with me forever, and that's it. Well, that's great, but you're a slave to your clients now.
Yep. Yeah.
You are a slave to your clients. Do you want to be in that position?
That was the other thing that came up now that you're mentioning it. It was, I've trained these clients for 7 years or 8 years or 9 years. They won't train with anybody else. And I said, here's how you do it. And you guys, this was one of our Inner Circle members. Here's how you do it. You decide today that you want to stop training clients on the training floor. And you decide that because you're going to take that time that you're using on the training floor to go then generate more revenue in another area, okay? Mm-hmm. That's the caveat. You don't just go sit on the couch and eat potato chips because you're not training. That's not the point.
That doesn't earn any income.
Yeah, you better stay your ass on the training floor if that's what your plan is. No, you're going to take that time and leverage it into more income-producing activities. So here's what you do. You hire a new coach. That new coach needs there's basically going to be your sidekick, your right hand man or girl for the next, let's just call it 4 to 6 weeks. I'm just going to throw this kind of game plan out for you. The game plan is how to offload your clients to the new coach. So the first couple weeks, they're just going to talk to the clients, get to know them. They're going to be training with you, not actually working out, but hey, standing around, looking at the program, watching the form, not saying much, but just chiming in when they can. The next 2 weeks, they're going to start picking up the weights, bringing it over to the client, setting the bench up for them, grabbing a band, still you as the gym owner's coaching that, whatever, you're still coaching the client, the programs you. Now, the next couple of weeks, the coach starts looking at the program. The gym owner, hey, let me run. I got to run and answer this phone real quick. Johnny, will you grab this? They start working them in very nice and slow, right? I'll grab it, right? I'll go and train this client for this movement. And then you come right back. And then towards the last 2 weeks, you're shadowing them and their training. But you're there. The point is you don't disappear yet. And you're there. And that coach is training the new client all on their own. You're chiming in, making jokes, doing all that kind of stuff. But at the end of that last point of the transition, you take the client and you edify the new coach. You're in great hands. I'm knighting this person to be your new coach. And there's that slow transition. You notice how we didn't just disappear one day and the new coach came in. It was a very nice, easy transition. You could speed that up. But my point is, it was a couple weeks of them hanging around, chiming into conversation, another couple weeks of them grabbing the weights, maybe setting up the exercises. The next couple weeks is, the gym owner's got to go run and grab the phone. Coach is actually doing the training. And then the last 2 weeks, you're just shadowing them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something like that. I'm not saying that's a proven formula, but that is a great way to do it.
With any of the transitions we've made in business owners, whether with our businesses, whether it be the style of training, moving somebody out of it, whatever it may be, adding new people to the organization, there's always a transition that takes place. And I think that's smart. And we're in a relationship business, and to expect our clients to be comfortable dropping everything day one and starting with somebody new the next day is unreasonable. It is an unreasonable expectation. So by creating a transitional period, what you're doing is you're building the relationship with this third person.
Perfect.
That's what that whole transition's about. It's about that client and that trainer now developing their own relationship under your guidance. And allowing that natural transition to take place, as opposed to shocking the system and expecting, let's catch what we keep.
Yeah, and so my clients won't.
Yeah,
that's true. They won't. If you just disappear and bring Johnny the trainer in the next day, they won't, because you didn't transition out, right? And
but it's not an all or nothing, and that's where gym owners kind of use that term. It's like I won't even fathom the idea, because my clients they just absolutely won't.
Yeah, they'll do it this way.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's so simple, guys.
We legitimately transitioned a 30-year gym owner from one-on-one personal training to completely out of his training.
He's out of there.
You know what I mean? Like, for him, and that was his big caveat. 4 years ago, at the time, it was 4 years before we even had the conversation.
Yeah.
We had talked about this stuff, and it was always, my clients won't.
So let's take this scenario. Based on who's listening to the show, this most likely isn't you. This gym owner was the gym.
Correct.
30 years he had been training clients by himself with a partner, but one-on-one training. 30 years. If he didn't show up, if he wanted to go on vacation, the gym didn't make money, he wasn't there, and the clients didn't train with anybody else. We were able to take him out of his business. That is the hardest of all scenarios.
Yep.
The guy's name's on the building. It's his business. It's him, his face. He's been the guy for 30 years, and he's out of the business, and the clients are completely happy, and they're working and training with new coaches.
Yeah.
Under his guidance.
And not only that, but think about, I'm glad you said it the way you did too, because think about that position. He is an older gentleman, end of career. He should be considering, or, ideally considering retiring or something. Mm-hmm. And that was a conversation we had long before we even had the systems and the process to help him there. I was concerned about what he was going to do with the rest of his life. Can you sell it? No, because you are the business, right? Mm-hmm. And so none of those systems were in place. There was no business outside of him. Yep. And that's a scary feeling. And if that's probably something that each of you guys should really, that might be the lesson to take away, is look at your business, see where the roles and responsibilities lie. And if you are the critical component in the day-to-day, you got to change something.
You can't remove yourself. You'll never be able to get out of it. Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to buy a job when they're coming in to buy that.
The ultimate thing, at the end of the day, you create a business for the opportunity to earn an income, create wealth for yourself.
Create freedom.
Freedom is really the reason you create a business. You start your business. Mm-hmm. If you wanted to be a phenomenal trainer, go work for somebody else, guys. It's way easier to be a great trainer at somebody else's location than it is to worry about the P&L, your employees, all of that crap while trying to maintain the training.
Correct.
So the day you decided to be a business owner, the responsibilities changed. And that's really what this conversation is about, is you need to focus on the work that's going to move the needle of the business the greatest in order to provide yourself, your team, with the greatest opportunity for freedom, your clients with the greatest results, and the ability to scale and grow.
And enjoy what you're doing. I mean, let's be honest. Yeah. When you have an operation that's doing everything for you and it's fun, like, you enjoy it.
I've never had a trainer say, I have to go train because, whether for whatever reason, like a business owner go, I have to go, on the training floor and was happy about it. Like I have to, right? No, they know that it's like almost like a step back in the direction of the business if you have to find yourself on the training floor consistently. You're not running the business if you have to, not can.
And this is where my original story about never wanting to be on the training floor comes in, to where a lot of these trainers enjoy it. And so this is why I kind of set that precedence in the beginning. If you enjoy it and you're doing it because you want to, it's one thing. Correct. But if you don't enjoy it and you're doing it because you have to, that's the opposite end of the spectrum.
I'll go one step further though, because there's another one. Comfort can be complacency. And if you're doing it because you love it and you're on the training floor and you're complaining because you're broke as hell, now something needs to change. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like if the business is not where it needs to be and you're doing the same things over and over and over, now you have to say, all right, it's time to get a little uncomfortable. Now it's time to do some things that I don't necessarily enjoy doing, or it's not what I really opened up. I didn't start this business because I wanted to go worry about the P&Ls and the math of the marketing and all that comes with owning a business. But that's the realistic decision you made when you said, I'm going to be the business owner. And so you have to look at the full spectrum. You have to see where the business is. You have to be realistic. Is the growth, do you have plans? Do you know where the business is going? You know what I mean? Are you steering the ship, or are you just showing up every single day and doing the work because it's there in front of you?
Well, that's the thing. The lost leader is one of the pitfalls, and not having a plan, that's one of the problems, right? It's one of the problems. So listen, guys, we're not here to knock anybody that loves training, but Absolutely. The point is you're setting yourself up to a long road of not being able to remove yourself from the business, and it always relying on you as a gym owner, that you have to be the one doing the work. You're not a business owner, you're self-employed and you own your job. If that doesn't sound very appealing to you, you need to be in our coaching program. That's winninggym.com/grow. We do have openings now. We're doing this in smaller groups. It's an 8-week program. Let's have a chat. Right?
Yeah. Cool. Let's dive in. Let's look at the business.
And you have our permission to make the decisions that are best for you and your family. Okay.
Just to leave them with that thought, I've had a lot of conversations lately with newer gym owners or gym owners that are really passionate about the results and the love of their clients.
Yeah.
Constantly finding ways of cutting their own benefit out because they think that they're serving their clients greater. You guys deserve the pay. You guys deserve a hell of a lot more pay than what we're charging, every one of us, because of what we're doing for our clients. Right? It's not just a few pounds. It's health. It's longevity. I mean, it's worth a hell of a lot more than what we charge. Is my point. But you have to look at the fact that if you don't have the business, if you don't have a successful, profitable business, and you're working towards closing your doors, then you can't help people. There's always been a stigma around collecting or taking money from our clients because we feel like we're doing a disservice to our clients.
We're talking about the gym owners.
Gym owners, yeah. Right? There's just this natural resistance around collecting with a lot of those types of personalities. And you have to change that mindset. You have to decide that the accumulation of wealth and what you do with it can be a great thing. Turn that around, grow your business, serve more people. That's where it's at. Mm-hmm. The opportunity to serve more people is, in my opinion, it's your obligation. It's the whole reason we're here. But rather than that be a self-limiting belief, let that be your driving force.
There you go.
And that's really a transition that I'm helping a couple people kind of see right now. But I think that it is a big mindset shift, and it's hard. It's really hard, especially because we've talked about personality types and those that care about the results and the people, and they're the givers, the nurturers. You have this natural resistance around money and collecting and taking it from their clients. It's a natural exchange of value. If you don't shake hands and agree on those terms, someone's going to come collecting.
Yep, and there has to be, I guess, sacrifice from the client's end so that they stick to the program.
In skin in the game. There's value in the accountability. I mean, if our services were free, nobody'd show up. Push-ups are free, Mrs. Johnson.
Yeah.
You ain't doing them.
One. Every
time I hear it, everybody that hears it goes, ooh.
that stings a little bit.
It does, but it's true. But that's just something that that really resonated lately because I'm having those conversations, and there's resistance around doing things that they think are going to hurt their business or their clients because it's raising their prices or it's taking themselves off the training floor. It's all of these things that ultimately are business decisions that need to happen, or you're not going to have a business at all.
Yep,
that's the way it is.
Make the tough choices, guys. Hopefully that helps you. Maybe get your mindset wrapped around making those tough decisions. You have our permission to do this, what's best for the business. And if that means, hey, we got to reduce those hours and get somebody in, we've given you a way to do it here on this show. If you guys need help, winninggym.com/grow. We'd love to chat with you and help you out. But that's it for this episode. Until next time, keep changing lives. We'll see you on the next show. Bye. All right. And thank you for listening to that episode of the Built to Grow podcast, where we help gym owners win. Now, do you want to connect with me and other gym owners online? All you need to do is join our private Facebook group, Business Talk with Fitness Professionals. Just head on over to Facebook and type in Business Talk with Fitness Professionals. And when you do, we're going to give you our 10 marketing strategies 7-figure gym owners use to win. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Until then, keep building something great.